Okay, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I haven't been on in a little while. I checked out in the mission control. There was a new mission, and let's take a look at what it was. Now, active mission I've got going on right now. It was kind of new. It struck me as something I hadn't seen before. The mission was map 5 asteroids endangering Kerbin with a Sentinel infrared telescope. Well, I thought, well, I didn't have the Sentinel infrared telescope. Didn't know anything about it. So I went back to the VAB, I checked out in the parts, and sure enough, there it was. So we've got the Sentinel infrared telescope. It must have come out in like version 1.3 or something. But I've got 12 years to complete the mission. I went ahead and accepted it. I need to have the Sentinel infrared telescope on the vessel, reach the designated orbit around the Sun within reasonable deviation, and map 5 asteroids threatening Kerbin. Now, the mapping process will happen passively over a length of time as long as any active Sentinels are near the specified orbit. So as long as I can get it in the specified orbit, then we're good. I'll just have to turn it on. They do not need to be newly launched. Of course, this is a newly launched vehicle because I didn't even know I had the part. You will receive progress notifications as suitable asteroids are mapped. So we really just have to get it in orbit around Kerbal, and we're good. So let's go back to the VAB, take a look at the Sentinel. I went ahead and used a rocket. I've got this rocket here I'm using. Kind of lower that down a little bit. Make it look a little better. Whoops. See what that looks like. Yeah, it looks a little better. Okay, using the Sentinel rocket, I'll show you what I've done. This rocket I've used before. I know it has enough delta V to get me to Joule. So I am using it. I don't know what we're doing. These tanks right here I've got empty. If I do have any spare fuel left, I'll transfer it into it. I also have this separated into a smaller one if we need to. Like I said, this may be over-engineered. I don't know. But here is the telescope. And essentially what the telescope will do, this will be facing the Sun. It's a shield, heat shield. And this will be looking toward Kerbin's orbit. It will be tracking, it's an infrared satellite, so it tracks, the heat signature. Of course, the Sun hitting on the asteroids are going to heat them up a little bit. We can't see them because the Sun is, we're looking at the Sun trying to find these asteroids, and we can't. So we put this in between Kerbin and the Sun. Let's go out here. Let's go ahead and hit launch. As far as I know, my stages are good. Go ahead and hit a timer here, so don't run too long. Okay, we're on the launch pad, and let's see. There's no Kerbals in there, and of course this is autonomous here. Remote controlled. I've got a couple of control units on here. So what we're going to do, like I said, this may be over-engineered. I'm pretty certain it is, but we're going to give it a test flight here. We'll say this is for real. If we get up into space, we'll go ahead and set up the maneuver nodes to knock out the contract here. Okay, so we have, you can see right here, we've got map 5 asteroids endangering Kerbin. We have a Sentinel infrared telescope on the vessel. Reach the designated orbit around the Sun within reasonable deviation. And then map the 5 asteroids threatening Kerbin. Now, once we get up into space, we'll take a closer look at the payload here and see what it's got on it. See, I think I'm ready. We've got everything going. This will come off probably down here somewhere after I knock out the 2 boosters, of course. But here we go, and well, let's go full throttle. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, like I said, under-engineered. Didn't know how long that, how much that weighed. It is a slow launch. Not really what I was hoping for, but we are gaining some altitude. It's not really what I wanted, but hey, here we go. I am going to tilt over to 90 degrees, but I am going to wait till we get a little faster, probably about 115 meters per second. And we'll tilt it over, facing east. And here we go on the maiden launch of Sentinel rocket. I don't know what we want to call this. Sentinel infrared rocket. CIFR. Oh, sift. We're going to sift through Sentinel Infrared Telescope. How about that? We're sifting through the sky. We're at 105. Here we go. We're going to tilt over just a little bit. Got SAS on to help me stabilize it. I'm not going to go too far, but I'm going to get this leaning over. Get it up into a good high orbit. Probably about 150. I don't know. We're at 5,000 meters. It's crossing 200 meters per second. This is actually turning out to be pretty good. It had a really slow launch, you know, considering the weight. Once we dump these booster rockets, we'll be good. We're at 330 meters per second at 10,000 meters altitude. Everything looks pretty good. Getting a little wobble from that SAS, but you know, it is heavier on the bottom. That's why it's wanting to point more towards the top. We're going to try to hold it right there until we drop these boosters, and then we should. I don't know. This is going to be scary. Probably tilted over a little too soon. It's still heavy on the bottom. There goes the boosters. Let's go for separation here. Separation looked good. Now we just have to get the altitude and the speed we need. And hold that. We're at 28,000 meters, 850 meters per second. What are we? 43 downrange here, heading east. Get us into orbit. Apoapsis is at 51 up here. We're at 51. We're trying to get to 70, remember? Like I said, this may be over-engineered. We may have a lot of fuel here to play around with later. Try to get that centered in the nav ball down here, the trajectory. Keep that centered. We're at 68. We're at 70. We will be in space. That's good to hear. Let's crank it on over. We're at 16,000 meters per second. I'm sorry, 1,600 meters per second. I'm trying to get to 22, I think. Trying to get to 22. I am using the Skybox, a newer Skybox, so it does look a little different. There's the moon off to the back. Cranking this over. We're at 130. We're going to crank it over a little bit more, see if we can draw this line out just a little bit more. 170. I better cut the engine. We'll stay there. We'll drift until we get to 150. We'll fire the rocket again. We got quite a bit of fuel. These are full. This one's empty. And then we'll get the payload up here. Once we get into space, we are in space. We'll go ahead and knock out the we'll knock this off. There we go. There's the Sentinel. We'll open up some solar panels, and we'll open up the we'll open up the antenna. The antenna, probably don't need that big one just yet, but we'll go ahead and open it. Looks good. We've got some solar panels up here somewhere, I think. Yes, here they are on the side. Let's get that one and this one. No. Where is it? There it is. Nope. Did I just put... No, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Very good, we'll get that one out. We're drifting up. We're going up to about 200, and it looks like 209, 210. And we'll circularize. Take a look at our trajectory and maybe even make a burn to get it started. Essentially what we want to do, let me take a quick look at the map. Oh yeah, this is going to work nicely. Blowing out to here, we'll leave Kerbin. Of course, flying off of the back, we'll fly off the back of Kerbin. We'll boost so that we come into a trajectory around Eve, into an orbit, I'm sorry, around Kerbal. Here's the this orange line that's going around here. This is the one we're trying to get to. This is our target. I don't know if it's on a good. Oh yeah, it's on the same plane, so that's good. As long as we can hit that plane, we can make small adjustments. So if we need to, of course. This is what I'll be doing. I'll be flying off of the back. I will fall toward Sol. We'll stop right about here, and then I'll wait till probably a half a year. Get over here to the other side. Shrink my apoapsis down. Lower it down until we get, it says within, certain amount of deviation. So I'm expecting a lot of deviation at first. So let's see if we can get back. How do we get back? Focus on Moho. No, we don't want Moho. We don't want that. Play. No, Bob. Helu. Sentinel. There we go. Okay, get back down here and take a look and see where we are. Oh, I could burn now and just keep burning and fall off the back, but we'll go ahead and set up the maneuver node and circularize, and then figure out what we're going to do. We're going to make the burn on this side, of course. Yeah, I'm kind of a little forward, so we'll have to go about 3/4 of the way around and then do it. So we do have to get into an orbit, and we'll blow this out just a little bit. Go ahead and start our turn. We are in space, so no worries. We'll rotate around here. Everything is looking good. Man, a lot of fuel. I knew this was kind of over-engineered. It was enough to get to Duna or Joule and things like that. So, but I took some fuel out of here, and I will put it back in later when we don't need it anymore. Let's go ahead and stop it right there. Put that on hold. We got good power. Yeah, I don't know what the Sentinel does. This is the first time I've had it out. So it says log observation data, start object tracking. Let's go ahead and start. It says the Sentinel infrared telescope needs to be activated on a solar orbit. So, okay. It's got to be on a solar orbit. We've got our antennas up. I guess we have good communication. I never even thought about that. That is the only antenna I have. I never thought about that. It's the only antenna that I have. I'm using an old rocket, so I've got, no, there's an antenna. Okay, I've got, well, I got an antenna on here, but it's not going to do me any good, because I'll be breaking this apart, ejecting this. So Sentinel, let's see where we're at. We're about 200. Let's take a look at the map. Yeah, we're getting up there. We are drifting. It'll take us about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and speed that up just a little bit and get on up there and make this burn. Here we are, coming around Kerbin, coming up to the apoapsis. Probably won't take us too long, so 30 seconds maybe. So slow down. We'll get back into our alignment here. slow go. I didn't put any reaction control systems on, so everything's doing it by control units. So, okay, here we go. We want to get into it. Looks like we're at 200, so we'll keep it at about 200, I guess. Well, I don't know. We're coming down on this side. This is where we want to burn, so we may keep this kind of low. Here we go. Blow this periapsis up here. As soon as it pops out the other side, we are in orbit. We are in orbit. We'll keep that there. We don't use too much fuel. Man, I got a lot of fuel. I never even thought about that. It is over-engineered. I got a little bit. I should just transfer this on up. Let's go ahead and transfer it up. If so, I can burn this back down. I've got control over it. I want to transfer. Okay, we got the Jumbo Rocco Max. It's got 508. This one will take 300, so we'll go in. Oh, no, sorry, we'll go in. And the oxidizer as well. We'll fill this up. Now, if I don't want any space debris, I can return this to Kerbin. It'll cost me a little bit of fuel, but I think I would have enough. There we go. Look at that, 148. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just we're going to drop this off. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I can delete it out. Go ahead and eject this. Oh, let's save it first. Quick save at 5. And look for asteroids coming into harm Kerbin. Here we go, dropping this off. I guess that is that one. Yep, that's that one. There we go. Okay. I'll fire up just a little bit of engine here. Oh, what was that? Linear rotation. That's new. We'll boost it right from that just a little bit, get away. That's gonna circle. Now I've got a little bit more control over it. I don't know how long this engine will take to burn towards, but we are full of fuel. This is good. This is good. I do have another decoupler here if we want to decouple that. Then we have this, and of course I have a decoupler here. And just use these 2 small tanks if we need to. Hopefully this will be enough. Like I just said, I might have over-engineered this. Pretty certain I did. But let's go take a look at what we need to do. We're going to be heading towards the sun. Where's the sun? There it is. And we'll probably need to burn over here, just right after periapsis. We'll add a maneuver node. Start boosting. Like I said, we'll fly off the back of Kerbin. Get past Minmus, and once we're past Minmus, it's just a little bit more. Boom. Okay, we are on a trajectory around, and this has only taken 847. I've got 5,000. So I know we're going to be good. This is going to take a little bit more. We're going to drop this down to our where we need to be. I know it's going to be close. I forgot to look to see what it is, but I should have put... Now we do have some, unknown objects. These are tracking. These are normal. These are normal. This will appear, just from Kerbin's tracking station. But what we're going to do, hopefully, I think, is what we're going to do. See how all of these appear on the outside of our orbit. What we're going to be able to see once we are floating on the inside of this orbit, you see all these are floating outside. Once we park our satellite here between Kerbal and Kerbin, it'll be parked here. It will be able to see asteroids here. in between. Because see, you can't see them when you're looking towards the sun. You just can't see them. They're too small, or they're not, emitting heat, because the opposite side of them are emitting the heat. So, and they're small. So, what we'll do is we'll park that on the inside of Kerbin, between Sol and Kerbin, Kerbal and Kerbin, and then we'll be able, hopefully, from what I'm thinking, we'll see asteroids on the inside. So this is a new, as far as I know, it's new. Came out in version 1.3. I'm not sure, but we'll see what this does. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map here. We are closing in on the dark side of Kerbin. We could go ahead and get set up for our burn, and then high speed it over there, time warp around. Turn on SAS. Yeah, we'll be able to maintain that. Right there, I don't want to use too much battery. I don't know how much battery this satellite uses. That's going to be interesting. I may not have enough. I do have the antennas to talk to it and everything, so I would like to go ahead and, I didn't think about that interfering with this antenna. I may pop it out. That way I can still use this if I need to. I know it's not, see, there's an antenna there. Should have stuck it on the side. The control unit does have an antenna, but if I'm far away from Kerbin, it won't work. So I may pop that out anyway. It may glitch through. It may break off. I don't know. What we got here? We got some. I've already sent everything, so we're good. We're good. We're good. I think I have a mission to transmit and recover scientific data from space around Kerbin. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. We'll use the temperature one. That way it's not that taxing on the antenna electric charge. See, it's done. It's done. So we got some money for that one. We got a check mark. Got that completed. It was science data from space around Kerbin. We just got $2,600 for that, or Kerbal bucks, whatever you want to call it. Trash that one. We got a couple more. Go on an orbital spacewalk around Duna. We'll eventually do that. Have the Sentinel infrared. This is what we're doing right now. So let's take a look, see where we are, where we're coming up. We got 13 minutes to our burn. We got 13 minutes. Estimated burn is going to be a 2-minute burn, so we want to, let me change that up a little bit. It doesn't look very, we want to fly off the back. Get going fast enough, fly off the back, and yeah, get it right down really close to, we don't want to intercept Eve, we just want to be close to Eve. And again, I won't know what that is until we get away from Kerbin. I've got my antenna. We should have good communication, which we do. So I hope that antenna is good enough. Good. I chose like a mid-range antenna. So let's go ahead and fast forward around to our. It's going to be a 2-minute burn, so we want to burn half and half. So about 1 minute away. Speed up time. Got a bunch of satellites on the back side right now. Okay, getting closer, 2 minutes. Slow it down just a little bit. Make sure we get into a good trajectory. This is where we're going to burn. It's going to cost us 959 meters per second to fly off the back of Kerbin and start our descent towards the sun. Of course, we're going to hold off right about there. So we've got 1 minute. Well, we got 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a little bit, get that time down there. We'll start making our burn. Okay, here we go. We'll go full throttle with the Poodle. Poodle. I am pushing a lot of fuel, pushing a heavy payload as well. I don't know what that Sentinel weighs. You should be able to see our apoapsis is blowing out. Growing higher and higher. Getting further and further away from Kerbin. Eventually we'll be down near Eve, which I've never, intentionally put anything in orbit around the sun. I think I do have, yeah, this one right here. He's dead away, or he's, he was dead on arrival. He was out of fuel. He was just getting shot. It's called the Jayhawk 1. I think I was shooting it at Eve, but ran out of juice before I got there. So he is just drifting into space. Go ahead and make this burn. We got 400 meters to go. Watch this go out. It'll start going faster and faster now. You can see it going faster and faster. Normally this would be going to the moon. We would stop it when it got right here. Catch up with the moon. We launch it at the right time. And again, we can do this and hit Minmus, sorry. Okay, here it goes, getting faster and faster. It's done. Ooh, we had a boost there from the, I didn't even see that. But it's not going to save us. It's going to save us about 100 meters per second, probably, if we would have done it. And there we go. There we go. We are on our way. We'll go ahead and close this down. We are heading to, oh man, check that out. It was only half tank. So it's a pretty good rocket. I mean, you got 2 orange tanks with boosters. It is heavy. Then you got the center, the main sail, 2 skippers on the side, the main sail pushing. And then whatever you got left over, bring it up into here. Keep these empty until, until you need them, I guess. It's full. That one's full. I don't like these rockets, but that's all I had right at the moment. And so this is going to push us down. Now, what will happen now is, in, what is that, 6 days? Does it take 6 days to, no, 4 days to leave Kerbin. It takes 4 days to leave. And we will travel this orange line down to here. Once we get to here, we'll shrink our apoapsis down, and then we'll start looking for our our mission. It says reach the designated orbit around the sun within reasonable deviation. Within a reasonable, I don't know what that means, but I've done some around, Eve, around Minmus and Moon, around Kerbin, and you just have to get it close, and then the computer takes over and says, yeah, that'll work. So we'll be good. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. I picked up a new mission. Where's the sun? The sun's over here. Yeah. So we want to turn this away from, oops, turn it away from the sun so it don't. There we go. Keep that pointed that way. And we are, technically we're flying away from Kerbin. On a trajectory that way, looks like. We're falling off the back of Kerbin. Here it is in map mode. We're falling off the back of Kerbin. Of course, if you want to go, towards the sun, if you want to go to Eve or Moho, you fly off the back of Kerbin because you're actually canceling out the speed of Kerbin and around Kerbal. So you cancel that out, and then you fall toward. You got to make some more burns, to get it right. But if you wanted to go out, like to Duna or Drez, or even Jewel like this one, then you would fly off the front, you come around the back and you fly off the front, and gets that speed going. You're using Kerbin's speed around Kerbal to help go ahead and slingshot you out to Duna. But here we go. I hope you on a mission. I will record this one to its extent and to its ending, whether it be good or bad. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.